Hey, peace. Salam alaikum. Maleko pakwenda and sala. How you guys doing? I salute you with peace and blessings. Just making the donuts, guys. Making the donuts. Same thing every day. Today is a little cold up here in Philadelphia. Wanted to touch up a little bit on a question that I was asked in the comments there. I also want you guys to check out the latest video, if I'm not mistaken, of Tata and Fumbe. He actually did gave a great explanation on the concept of, I guess, I would say, how he goes about in his lineage and his house and others on initiation into Ngeyo and then into Tata. Very good explanation. Very good. Very, very good. I enjoyed it. I just hate that he doesn't make a lot of videos on Palo. You know why? I'm usually driving around. I'm driving around doing videos, doing deliveries. So I'm actually always trying to hear something, listen to something, because I can't actually be seeing the videos too much unless I pull over, and I could watch it. So what I do sometimes, I just pull over, watch for a little bit, and I just keep rolling and keep doing, and going about my business and just keep listening to it. But as he said on a video back, I don't know if it was a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, he stopped doing, like, he didn't stop, but he just didn't put out any videos on Palo because people are not asking questions. And I agree with him 100%. There's a lot of topics that can be spoken on Palo that we do not need anyone to ask a question for us to produce a video or speak about it. Like I said, Palo is vast. Nkisi Malongo is vast, the traditions, and there's a lot to be spoken about. But at the same time, when we don't have people commenting, people acknowledging the videos, people giving their point of view, what do they think, giving saying, hey, can you guys, or you make a video on this, on that, it kind of like sometimes we don't see the energy, we don't feel the energy of the people that watch the videos. So we kind of like, don't speak about it too much. Like we fall off a little bit from these topics and these things, and we just stop making videos. And then we'll probably just come out once in a while, to give you guys something. Not because we don't care, we do care. But at the same time, we also would like to see the interests of the brothers and sisters, of what they would like to hear, what they would like to speak about, and it gives us motivation, to produce videos, and we feel good about making videos because we know that we are just trying to help, other fellow brothers and sisters out in the community, whether they be from our lineage or not. I understand the lineages, I understand some of the dramas and why this and why that on some of them, not all, but I don't look at that as a division. It doesn't concern me too much what rama you from. I don't look at it that way, it doesn't, whatever rama you from, and as long as you practice what you practice, by all means, I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. At least you are a practitioner and you're doing what you got to do as a member of that community. That's all to me that counts. But other than that, it's nice if people comment and people give their point of views and people give some type of insight of what they would like to be seen on videos or talked about, because it gives us something to chew, something to think about, something to go at it and bring you a topic or a conversation to keep on this development of how we understand, how we see, how we practice, what we do, what we don't do, what's the difference of houses, what's the difference of opinion. See, I put a video out speaking on houses that go straight to Tata because of, you know, the letters that they see from that person. He put a video explaining almost the same thing, but how they do their things, you understand? And it makes a lot of sense, you know, and that's how us as practitioners of Nkisi Malongo are able to broaden up our minds, broaden up our intellect, and to see and understand why some houses do this, why some houses do that, why some don't. And you could see the differences and understand what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. So it's a great, he always puts out good videos. I like his videos. I always watch him when he puts it out. For some reason, I have the bell on for him and for a couple of others, and it doesn't ring on my phone. Like, it doesn't pop out, you know, like, you know, while I'm watching something, you know, I would like for it to come out. I've checked all my settings, but anyway, that's because I always check manually. Every 2 or 3 days, I check manually if he put anything out, and others if they put something out. Now, I got a question. That was just to get that out the way. I got a question that spoke about, could you speak about Christianity in a sense? But he also asked, is there anything wrong with having a cross on a nganga, on a prenda, on a kindembo, whatever you call it, but a fundamento? If there's anything wrong with you having a cross in there? I think I spoke a little bit about this a while back, but I didn't go really into too much. You gotta understand this controversial points of view on having a cross or not in nganga. You gotta understand that Christianity, you know, didn't just hit the Americas, you understand? Christianity hit also Africa, parts of Africa. You know, before the Congos came here as slaves, Christianity was already being pushed on a lot of them over there. So a lot of, I'm not gonna say a lot, but some of the Congo people were baptized into the Catholic or the Christian faith, you know, from over there, way before they came to our islands and to these states over here, you know. So that's understandable, and you know, we understand that because that's part of history. You know, all you have to do is look it up and research it, and you will find that out. Not all, but a great part of the Congolese, under a certain king and son and ruler, did almost like forcibly had conversion, them being converted into Christianity. Okay, so we have that point. Now, the other part, the conversion of being introduced or forced into Christianity here when the slaves came. That's another part that hit hard, you know, on slavery, because you have to understand it goes beyond just the Kikongo tradition, the Yoruba tradition. There's a lot of things that we have to understand, you know, even in the declarations of independence, the declarations of that was made here in the institution and institutionalized here in the Americas, you know, there are things written, you know, that if you really get into looking at history and you start reading things, it boggles and it messes your mind up. You know, I don't remember the exact words, but there is something written, and I don't know if it's in the Constitution, that made a resemblance, made a kind of wording stating that a black person was, I don't know, a black man was either 3/4 of a man, or a quarter, something like that. And I forget, because this is stuff that I researched years ago, you know. And there's even writings of people speaking about that black people didn't have souls, you know, and they will Christianize them and tell them that, you know, right now, you know, you by us, you know, converting you into Christianity, when you die and you come back again, you'll come back as a full, you know, fledged human. You know, like, there's a lot of things that people have written that are just incredible, like so much nonsense and so much negativity and kind of like manipulation of a lot of scriptures and a lot of beliefs and systems. So it goes way beyond just having a crucifixion, and just it goes way beyond Christianity. Yes. What does being Catholic mean? Catholic is a form of Christianity, and the word Catholic means universal, meaning that this Catholic faith at some point, at some time, wanted it to be a universal practice for everyone to be under. And if we look at a lot of the other, like they say, Abrahamic faith, you will see that these three, Christian, well, let's say Jewish, or Israelite, Jews, Christian, and Muslims, these three all want to be rulers and be conquered. Because when you go into history and you read, you start understanding that all of these faith-based systems want to rule the world, and some way, somehow, you have to be under them. Either you with them or you not. And some of them are even say they will persecute you to death, or some of them will put a tribute on you, on that you have to pay a certain type of tax because you don't follow their faith, you know. And this is things that have happened, you know, in history. All you have to do is look it up and read about it. They called the native people of this land and in Africa, they call them savages, you know, because they were writing to make the people look less than them, you understand? But they were not savages. You know, it's like people don't, a lot of us don't understand. And when I say people, I say a lot of people, meaning us. We have to do more reading, more research, look for things that are valid, because a lot of books that are written, I mean, I read sometimes at night, and what I read is just to give some information out, but we have to always look beyond that and find the actual the most authentic resources, the people that we could trust on what they are giving us as far as historical or anthropology or whatever, you understand? Now back to the crucifixion. You have to understand that the crucifixion, having a cross, something that looks like this, was nothing new to the Egyptians. If you look at the Egyptian people, or the ones that follow these traditions, you'll notice that they have a ankh. It's a kind of like a cross, but has a round part at the top. I spoke about it before. That ankh represents the cosmology, the African cosmology, and it also represents, to some or to a lot, the woman or female productive organ and the male phallus, or you would say the vulva and the male phallus. You know, so this is nothing new of a crucifixion. The reason why we say crucifixion is because of how we've been taught that Christianity have came with this symbol of the cross, meaning Christ being crucified on these wooden stakes, and there's even controversy on that. There's been writers and historical research has done that Christ wasn't crucified on the way we see him on a cross like this. Some say he was crucified like this, meaning 2 sticks down like on a cross, and then put like that, crossed. Some say he was crucified on 1 stake, meaning he was just put on 1 piece of wood. You understand? So there's even controversial scientific and historical things on that. So some say he was put on a tree, and we could look at it both ways. He was crucified on a tree, or he was crucified on a tree, meaning he was crucified using wooden planks, like 4x4, 6x6s, like that. Now, you also have to go into what some of the understandings of when the Congos went into Cuba, and when the slavery hit over there, and the people and the mixture, and how Palo Mayombe came about, and the first Ngangas that were built, and what the understanding that some of the people had on building this understanding of Jewish and Christian Ngangas. As I explained last time, for the Christians, the Jews were the ones who crucified Jesus Christ. So the Christians looked at the Jews like the sons of the devil, meaning they were doing the devil's work, crucifying so-called God, or the Son of God incarnate, or God incarnate, meaning God coming in the form of a man. So the Christians started calling the Jews demonic, devils, and looked at them very bad. And they even went into wars and killed one to another and battled and everything. They went to such an extent that the Christians did stop following the Sabbath day. The holiest day for the Jewish people is Sabado, Saturday to us. Christians stopped even following the Sabbath day. And what they did is they chose the day of resurrection of Jesus Christ on a Sunday. Then they started following, change it to the Sunday being a day where they would worship Christ as the resurrection day. So Christians started and took Sunday as their holy day in order to stop practicing what the Jews follow on Saturday, despite of their differences in what they believe that they did to Jesus Christ. That's one thing, you understand? They will show you how bad it got. And then Jews also went into persecution also by the Christian faith. There was times where Jews couldn't be found practicing their tradition or their religion, because they could be imprisoned or killed, or tortured. So a lot of them went into also Christianity. It's a lot of history on it. Now back to the cross. For the Congo people, the cross, the symbol of the cross, did not mean crucifixion. Did not mean that they looked at it as and understood it as Jesus Christ, the man, the God man, being crucified on a cross. I'm looking for another pen, that I don't have to keep using my fingers. The cross, okay? On the Ankh, you see that this part here is a little higher and is shorter. There's a shorter piece on the Ankh. Then there's a round circle on top of it, representing the woman productive organ, and then the longer bottom part representing the man's organ, but also represents the African cosmology. Okay, how they looked at the cosmos, how they looked at how everything worked and how life began and all that. You understand? So the cross to the Congos didn't represent Jesus Christ to them. You know, it represented to them what they believed, the cosmology, how they, saw and understood how life came to existence and everything that has to do between the livelihood and death and maybe reincarnation and a whole bunch of things. But you guys have to get into researching and reading a little bit. You don't have to take it all, but read and try to understand the basic parts. There's a lot of books that are not going to give you a full understanding, even on the African cosmology, but they'll give you something on top, above the surface, for you to get some idea of how did they think, how did they thought, or practice, or believed, what was it all about. So when you see, and I'm more than sure that you guys have seen this cross being used in Palo, Nkisi, Malongo, and a lot. Just take the picture of Jesus Christ out of it and just look at the form of the cross. I'm more than sure that you guys have seen this thousands of times in a Palo house, or in Nkisi, Malongo, Enzo, or in pictures. Just the symbol. Okay? I know you've seen it. So just take the Christ out of it. They didn't believe it that way. Now, when Christianity came in and to Cuba, and all these Ngangas started being formulated, and the things that happened with Andres Petit, from one of the Hamas, the Kimbisa Hamas, you would see a lot that also implemented this cross. Some of them with a figure that represented Jesus Christ, and some of them without that figure, but it still represented to them being a Christian, a good Nganga, meaning an Nganga that was only made and built to do good. And then the ones that didn't have the crucifixion was looked at as a Jewish Nganga, because they looked at the Jews for killing Jesus Christ as evil, as demonic. So that was an Ndoki, evil, a Lukankasi, Nganga, a demonic Nganga. But the ones who truly understood what did the cross mean, either used it or didn't use it, without this understanding that it was Christian or Jewish. Because there's really no Jewish and no Christian in Ghana. This does not really exist in all reality. It does not. The people that conformed it and built it made it to them seem like it was a Jewish or a Christian in Ganga by using one a cross and the other one not putting a cross or a crucifixion. But there was also people that built in Gangas that had a cross on it without the Jesus Christ, but they understood that that cross didn't mean nothing, didn't represent Jesus Christ. It represented the African cosmology, or the Bantu, the Kikongo cosmology that they knew. You understand? So these are things that we have to research and look more and find and understand. There's also writings of some Nganguleros who at some point will have the crucifixion on there when they did let's say positive work, and then when they wanted to work with a more negative energy, then the crucifixion was taken out, and now it was an Nganga to work negative work, if you want to look at it, or demonic work, if you want to look at it in that form. But like I said, there's no such thing as a Jewish or a Christian prenda, because you have to remember that Nkisi Malongo doesn't have anything to do with Christianity. Now, have you seen, and I'm going to jump into something else that'll boggle your mind. Go on YouTube and put in the Lemba tribe, or put in the Jewish Lemba tribes, and you're going to see Congo people from the Lembas with the little caps on being called the original Jews or one of the tribes of Israel. And you will see that will blow your mind. How are those people so-called Jews from the Lemba tribe of the Kikongo, of the Congo people, of the Bantu people, let's say? That will blow your mind. But doesn't blow my mind, because you have to understand and realize who could have been the first people here on earth. And through time, people's belief systems, could they have been taken and used and manipulated and transformed and taken for other people's benefit, and for other people to rule and have you subjugated under these powers? I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Dark Ages. Okay? Just look it up. The Dark Ages. And find out what that means. People of color have ruled since the beginning. I'm sorry to say, it might hurt some people. But me, of a mestizo, being a mestizo person, being a mixed person of, let's say, black, dark-skinned people, European people, and Taino Arawak Indian people, of natives of Puerto Rico, I am a mestizo, I'm a mixed. And I don't have no problem, and I am great with who I am and what I am to this day, because I didn't have no control over that. I could have not. My people went into slavery just like everybody else's. So just do research, please, and comment on the videos, give the videos a thumbs up, watch the other brothers' videos, give information on things that you would like to see us do and speak about. But nothing, guys. Just speaking, blabbering here for a little bit. Ready to get some more deliveries. I was done. Now I'm going back to pick up some more. Another 30, 40 deliveries. Woo-wee! Have a great day. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam.